Hey, I'm Indy Clinton, and this is Sleep Deprived, a podcast where I dive into all the unspoken parts of life, including relationships, friendships, beauty, and motherhood. This is life unfiltered, sleep deprived, and running off caffeine. Welcome to Sleep Deprived.
Boom, we're on.
I am here with Amy Gerard. Is it Gerard?
It's Gerard. Gerard. No, it's Gerard.
Oh,
Shit.
I was wrong.
Amy Gerard.
Amy Gerard.
I just announced myself.
The mum, the business owner, the author,
Oh, yeah.
the now radio host.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. I'm honoured to have you on my seat today. How's your day been?
Thank you for joining me. My day has been good, chaotic, as you understand what it's all about. But so far, so good. Out of 10, it's probably at about a 7.
Oh, that's good. Are you on school pickup?
No, which is why it's at a 7, and it will probably drop down to the 3 from 5 p.m. onwards. You know, when you start having to cook dinner and then no one eats it and everyone's crying and you just got to get through those last 2 hours.
Yeah, and you've got 3 kids, but they're a bit older than mine. So I feel like we're in that position where I'm you're the hotter version.
Oh, you're the hotter version.
You're the hotter version, but you're, 5 years or 10? No, you're not 10 years. How old's Charlie?
So Charlie is 8. How
Okay.
old's Navy?
3.
Yeah, so 5 years above you.
Above me. So
Did you have all yours really close together as well?
Yes, I feel like I messaged you when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
It's the same age gap between Bobby and Kobe. No, maybe I'm making that up.
You had all 3 in 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years and 2 months.
Yeah, so I did all 3 in 3 years and 8 months.
Oh, close. It's hectic.
It's a vibe though. Honestly, I reckon if I was to do it over again, I would do it exactly the same. I feel like a bigger gap is harder.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not that I've got anything to compare it to, but just seeing other girlfriends. And I don't know if you're like this, but when you had your second, even though it was only like a 20-month difference, did you almost forget like when that baby?
Yes.
Yeah, imagine having a 5-year gap. I'd be like a first-time mum all over again.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the gap. And I also kind of am in it. Like I'll have my saggy tits now and
That's
then
right.
I'll let them find gravity again. And then, I don't want to like wait. I just want to just get it done.
Get it done.
And
And
grow
I
up.
feel like I'm almost, like my youngest is almost going to be at school next year. So I've got like 6 months left of him being at home. But I feel like I did all the newborn, the babies, the nappies, all the night wake ups in one stage. And then you go through the hectic toddlers in one stage. And now like I'm almost out the other side and they're all going to be at school next year.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's-
in the last year or two, I feel like I'm getting myself back.
I'm just finding myself again.
Yeah, but
I
you're
like that.
working.
Yeah, I'm definitely not finding myself again. I mean, I am really deep in, we've only just sleep trained.
Yeah, I saw that.
The 4-month regression really hit her hard. It hits all my kids hard. I don't know why.
For how long?
Like it was like when I got a sleep nurse, thank God, because I was at my wit's end. It'd been 5 or 6 weeks of, she's only ever slept through the night maybe 3 times since she was born. She's 5 months. So broken sleep for that long, I think I was at my very end. I'm like, I'm broken.
I would be hallucinating.
Yeah, I was literally hallucinating. And
Yeah.
Ben and I just would not get on. Everything was an argument because we were always so tired. And then we would take turns like sleeping in the room with her and one of us would sleep and then I'd resent him because he had a really good sleep and then I'm with her for the day and I'm like, oh, this is just fucked.
I know all about this.
Yeah. So I feel like you're very much in the next zone.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like there's probably challenges with them starting school.
Yeah, there is. School is a whole nother season.
Oh, no.
Like in my head, I thought that kindergarten was going to be like little kids running around and singing Ring a Ring a Rosie and building daisy chains and really cute. And it is not. Like
Really?
the school mums are hectic and there's so many politics and this kid's leaving this kid out and this kid's not included. And I'm like, oh my God,
no.
I was not, it's just nothing that I had prepared for. Not that I'd prepared. I don't prepare for anything.
What year is that?
Kindergarten.
Oh my God.
It's a lot. And then the homework comes home and I'm like,
I
I couldn't even do year 1 homework the other, like, what year's my kid in? Year 1, yeah. I couldn't even do his homework.
No. What,
Yeah.
maths?
Maths, yeah.
Oh, that'll be my downfall too.
Yeah, I'm okay with English. I can teach them how to read,
Yeah.
sight words and all that kind of stuff. It's the maths that gets me.
The times tables, they always get me.
No, it's like really weird stuff. I just don't even know. I don't remember doing homework in primary school. But yeah, look, there are issues and then you get you do. You have these mums who are far more involved in their kids' lives.
P&A, like the P&C group.
P&A?
Is it
Did you say
P&A?
P&A? It's P&C.
P&C, baby.
Yeah, I'm not in that.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to join?
No. With what fucking time am I going to be writing school reports with the mums?
No, look, the P&C is it's needed in schools because it helps like create culture and all of that kind of stuff, and they put things on. I thought before I became a mum that I was going to be like president of the P&C because that was what my mum did. Really? She was the president of the P&C. She worked at the school at the canteen. She was like a very devoted mum, and I did the whole stay at home mum thing. But then I was also like, wow, like I've given like 6 years of my life to being a stay-at-home mum, and now that I've got one foot out, I'm like, oh my God.
It feels good.
It feels good. And so no, I'm not on the P&C.
Thank fuck. I mean, nothing against I don't even know what P&C is, but I don't think I'm going to be on the P&C either. But I am scared about my kids starting school because I've heard of that mum mentality gang up. Like apparently, like they're hectic. It can be quite hectic. Have you found like mums are they bitchy? They get in little squads?
I have tried to make sure that I don't get too heavily involved in the politics.
Oh, is that what you mean by politics?
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't talking about like Labor and Liberal.
No, I was thinking about like, I don't know, the principal. You guys start talking
Oh, no. As in like there are politics that just in the playground with mums because they have an opinion on like their children and who they're hanging out with, and I keep everyone at arm's length. You can get added into Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups.
Are you in them?
No.
Oh, do you not get FOMO?
No,
I would want to see what's going on.
Listen, I'm in a street and there's a mum across the road. There's 4 mums in my street that go to my kids' school and they just keep me on top of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I do not need to be in the WhatsApp groups. Do you not have so many WhatsApp groups?
You secretly log in on their accounts, don't you?
I don't.
I do have a lot of WhatsApps.
Right.
But I'm just so intrigued. And like I'm that one that's part of Facebook like neighborhood groups because I want to see what's going on.
Oh, okay. So when you go to the school, you'll get like multiple apps for the school. So you've got like where you buy the uniforms from, all the events, the canteen app, the school app, the news app, and then on top of them you'll get like peppered with emails multiple times a week. So it just becomes a lot. Yeah. Plus preschool emails, plus a preschool app. Like, do you still check the app that shows you all the photos of your kids at preschool?
Sometimes I get notifications. I check Bambi's because I feel like she deserves that time for me to check because I always check Navy's. And I'm like, if I don't know, like I never check Bambi's and I'm always trying to zoom in, trying to find her because she's never with the group. She's always off like watering the garden.
She's an independent woman.
She's an independent girl. So I sometimes do check it and like I'll ask Navy what he did at preschool and he'll tell me nothing and then I'll look on the app and he's holding like a reptile. I'm
like he's been to the zoo and everything.
There's a reptile in his hair. And then I was like, oh.
You wait till Sol's at preschool because I was the same. When I had my daughter first, I would be across every update, photo. I was checking it. I'd call, how's Charlie going today? Like, she's a bit unsettled and no, she's going great. And then Bobby, that kind of halved. And now Kobe, I'm like, wait, where's Kobe today? Like, have I dropped him at preschool or has my mother-in-law got him? And I remember my mum saying the same thing to me because I was also one of 3. She was like, you know, you'll give it your red hot crack you'll give it your all with your first and then your second will be like a juggle and you'll have one for each hand. And she was like, and then your third will just raise itself. And that is so true.
It's so true.
Are you one of 3?
I'm one of 5.
What?
Yeah, and you're one of 3.
3.
Oh, you're 2.
5?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
What?
So I'm the baby. That's why 3 to me. I could pop out a few more.
You're 100% going to have more.
I think so too. I think I'm going to really...
Because you're only 21, right?
I wish. 26.
So
thank you. That's what a nice
basically
compliment.
21. Yeah.
So I feel like I've definitely got some years in me.
Can I have a sip of this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. Some vodka.
I wish it was. I'm not on school pickup.
Yeah, so I've always wanted a big family, but I just don't know if I want you. I remember when you had Kobe and he was young, you kind of frightened me of having 3 kids.
Yeah.
He was a tornado. The tantrums, like... because I hadn't had 3 yet. So I was like, oh my gosh.
You know what it was? It was when it was Bobby, who my middle child, who I like affectionately nicknamed Malat after the serial killer because he was that for a period in his life, he was so terrifying. Yeah. And very violent and just terrifying. Anyway, he was what made it hard because he really, really struggled to regulate his emotions. He is a big, big feeler.
Yeah.
And he feels all of the emotions in all of their extremities. And now that he can regulate his emotions and he can get across what he wants to say, he's actually he's the sweetest out of all three of my children.
Really?
He's so thoughtful and sweet towards me. He's an absolute shit stirrer with his brother and sister, but he's a real empath and really sweet. But everyone always asks me like, oh, did you find, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 harder? 3 ruined my life. I was battling, but it was mainly because of Bobby and his age, because he was only 22 months when Kobe was born.
Yeah, okay.
And
yeah,
so
it's such a hard age.
Yeah, and he was so angry all the time.
Didn't you get that checked? Because I remember messaging you.
Yes, I did.
Adenoids, tonsils, low iron, everything my son has gone through.
Yes.
And I remember, I think I was saying it to your bestie. What do you call it? Bezel?
Bezel.
Bezel. Little bezel. And I think she said, message Amy. Her son
Yes.
went through the same. And it was the adenoids and tonsils.
Yeah. So basically, when I went to so he would go to bed at like 6:30. He'd hit the pillow and be fast asleep. And then he'd sleep all the way through till 6 a.m. And then he would wake up so angry. He'd be like throwing books at me. He'd be raging. And I was like, why is this prick so angry? Like, how can you be
So much
12 hours
testosterone.
deep in, like, how can you get 12 hours of sleep and still wake up in a bad mood?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Anyway, he didn't snore or anything like that. So I was like, someone suggested taking him to an ENT because he did sleep with his mouth open, and mouth breathing is a real telltale sign that either adenoids are too big or tonsils are blocking airways. So I took him to an ENT and she hadn't even looked in his nose or anything, and he could not sit still. He was like from that chair to that chair. He was kicking stuff over. And she goes, have you had his blood test done lately? And I was like, no. She goes, have you checked his iron? And I was like, I'm here for you to check his ears and his nose, babe. And she's like, right, I'm going to check them, but here's a referral. Go and get his bloods done in the meantime. Checked his nose. She was like, oh, God. His adenoids are so large, they're blocking at least 90% of his airways.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even check his tonsils, but just based on how big his adenoids were, she's like, he needs to have surgery.
Yeah.
I'm looking at just adenoid removal for the time being. Anyway, in the meantime, she was like, go and get his bloods tested. Got his blood tests back, and basically where like I can't even remember the range in terms of kids where your iron levels are sitting. He was like 30 minus that.
Oh.
And so she was like, he's anemic as well,
Cool.
which explains why he's super restless, quite like poorly behaved. He had a really bad appetite. He used to like lick dirt.
He's trying to find iron.
I don't know.
trying to
Is
get
there
the
iron in
iron
dirt?
from
Maybe.
dirt.
But like would eat weird things like chalk. Was always like a grey colour.
Oh.
Through a little bit of grey.
That's
Bit
interesting.
corpse-like. Anyway.
Yeah. That didn't like alarm you when he was.
Well, at the time when his behaviour really peaked in like the Malat era, it was winter. So I was like,
yeah.
we're all pasty, right? I'm
Yeah.
half English, so I also look like a corpse a lot of the time when I don't have fake tan on. Anyway, long story short, took him in. He had his adenoids and tonsils. She was like, his tonsils are also grade 4, which is like the biggest grade you can have.
Wow.
So basically the guy couldn't breathe at night
the poor thing.
and was never, ever getting into REM, like deep, deep sleep. Which is what we all need.
yes.
I mean, I don't know if I ever get into REM either as a mum.
Neither. But yeah, I learnt that too because Navy got his removed, and it makes sense why they sleep with their mouth open
And
because when
but the head cocked back?
yes, because they're trying to get oxygen through because their tonsils are so big.
That's right.
Even in his car seat, he
That's
used to sleep like
right.
this, and the guy said he's doing that to get more
Airways. And you're like, oh my God,
I'm
the poor
so
kid.
mean. I know.
No, I didn't know it either. And I also thought that I always thought tonsils and adenoid issues was to do with snoring.
Yes.
I didn't realize that open mouth breathing is like one of the biggest things when it comes to that. But anyway, he had his adenoids, his tonsils out, and we popped him on an iron supplement, and
Change kid.
different child.
Really? I found the same with Navy
Did
too.
Navy have low
He
iron?
had low iron too.
Did you put him on a supplement as
Yes,
well?
Spartone.
Oh,
Spartone. Get it from
Multifa?
Chemist
Multifa?
Warehouse. sauce.
Oh,
And,
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. No, I just put it in orange juice. Not all the time. Now there's these new little ones I've bought, and they're a little German company, and they taste good, and he loves it. And
like
you
a lolly.
Not a lolly. You just cut off the top, and they just like kind of like a little small shot, but it's like apple flavor.
Oh, yum.
And it's 5 because toddlers are meant to. Apparently, iron deficiency is the lowest like vitamin. Is it vitamin? No. What the.
Yeah, it's a vitamin. Yeah. It's a deficiency.
In toddlers.
Yeah. It's very, very common.
Really common.
But I think the reason why we don't pick it up as like mums is because when we think of iron deficiency in ourselves, we think of fatigue and feeling really sleepy and not having a lot of energy, whereas in toddlers it presents quite differently. Like Bobby was hyperactive. It was like he was on like red cordial most days, but then he would crash so hard, but then he wasn't getting any sleep. So he was just a mess.
Yeah, and
Poor
that's
kid.
hard. It's hard because we have to find it out ourselves, like where our brains are churning what's going on. Why are you okay? Why are you looking so pale? And even
Why are you
them
eating
through,
chalk?
right? And then even putting them through the surgery. I remember being like, what have I done? Like when I had to sit there, that was probably the most traumatic thing I've ever had to put my child through. Sitting there, forcing a mask onto him, and
they're
he's
like
thrashing,
crying out.
Oh my
for
God,
you.
it was horrific.
Well, I actually didn't go in there with Bobby because Dad was a favourite of that month. So Ryan actually went in, but I went in with Kobe, and I'm pretty tough. Like I'm all about tough love and like short-term pain, long-term gain. But it broke me as well when Kobe was like, Mom! And he was screaming out for me. And when they and then as soon as he fell asleep, he started snoring like Kobe was the opposite. He sounded like a V8 supercar at Summer Nats. So I was like, straight away I clocked it. I was like, you need your adenoids and tonsils out. And as soon as he went to sleep, the lady was like, it's okay, Mum. Like, we're going to fix that. Like that noise right there needs to go. He's like a Tesla now.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
You can't hear him
Electric
ever.
too. He's great for the environment.
He's environmentally friendly. Yeah. But you have your other two? Have you clocked your other two?
Not yet, but I don't want to have to go through that traumatic.
What about
thing
the
again.
2-week recovery? How was he?
Oh, horrible. Endone wasn't even working on the poor kid. At one point, he was having Panadol, Nurofen, and Endone, and then. But you know what? The best thing about that recovery, he toilet trained himself. Because he was up so often having medicine that he was like, well, I may as well go to the bathroom.
What?
Completely toilet trained himself like at 2.5.
What an absolute legend.
But I also think he probably has like undiagnosed OCD from Ben. So like he could not think of anything worse than like, he doesn't even like want to wipe his own bum. He doesn't want to touch it. It's like so.
I mean, who does?
But then he wants to play in dirt.
Yeah,
and
but
like,
dirt and poo, I mean, they're a little different, right? He's a boy. He wants to get dirty, but he doesn't want to touch fecal matter. I'm right there with you, Navy.
Yeah, no, that's
Did
true.
you have your adenoids and tonsils out?
No, I don't think so.
What about Ben?
No, but my brother did. So I don't know. I don't know what causes large adenoids and tonsils because Navy's was grade 3 maybe, so it was 70%.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I've read online it can be things like, I don't know, smoke.
Well, smoke.
Yeah.
I always thought it was hereditary, which makes sense because I had mine out and so did Ryan.
Oh.
So the only person in my family who hasn't had them out is my daughter Charlie, and I kind of suspect that she probably should have.
Oh, really?
But I mean,
what are your signs? Snoring is one.
So snoring, definitely. Open mouth, breathing at nighttime. The head cocked back as well.
Yeah.
If they're really, really sweaty at nighttime and
oh
restless.
my God, yes. The
wetting the bed.
The sweaty pillows. I'd always go in and Navy has drenched pillows.
Yeah, because they're like working to breathe.
Oh my God, we're awful parents.
No, we're not. It's very common.
Yeah, but you don't pick up onto it. Like you don't pick it up. You don't just pick up.
Pick it up.
You don't just pick it up unless you see like more obvious signs, like when they're really white and you're like, what the fuck, what's happened? Why are you so white all of a sudden? But
That's
it kind
right.
of like it gradually takes time.
I would never have even considered that for Bobby because in my head he was having great sleeps, like long sleeps. He was easy to go down and he didn't wake up in the middle of the night. So I was very surprised. And then when she was like, oh, he can barely breathe. He's having long pauses and there's not enough oxygen going to his brain. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, you feel so bad. Yeah.
I'm so sorry for calling him a lot. Right?
And he's better now. Now he's an angel.
Angel.
And how's Kobe? Because Kobe's 4.
Kobe's 4. Kobe is much better now. Sounds like a Tesla. So they're both getting deep REM sleep.
Oh, that's good.
Kobe's a real sweetheart. He's 4, but he's the size of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
He's going to be probably a front rower. He's built like Ryan.
Really?
Oh yeah, Ryan's 6'2", 125 kilos, and
wow.
Kobe was born like a 3-month-old.
Oh, he was big.
Yeah, like I actually had my daughter, she came early at 37 weeks. She was a small baby, 2.8. Bobby was like 3.2. And then Kobe was just, the whole pregnancy was measuring over in the 100th percentile. No. So, and they were like, were your other 2 really large babies? And I said, nah, like, no, average. Charlie was a bit little. And they were like, you probably have gestational diabetes. Did the test, didn't have that either. And they were like, why is this baby in you so large? Like, thankfully, in proportion, just a large legs, large torso, large
big
head,
boned. Oh.
big 38 centimetre head.
Oh my
and so
cool
my thing was, all my babies were naturally.
Yeah.
But I was very concerned about being torn from here to China, basically. And I expressed my concerns about not wanting to be in a wheelchair afterwards. So I was like, should we bring him out early? And I think he was born at like 37 weeks and 5 days. And he was 4 kilos then.
Oh my God, wow.
So she was like, he would have been like 4.4.
I thought you were going to say, can we bring him out the sunroof, which I would have opted. You just wanted him earlier. You still risked it.
I risked it, yeah. Well, I thought earlier was fine. I also, can I say the F word?
No, of course you
Yeah,
can.
I messed up. I had all of the drugs with my birth with Charlie. And then with Bobby, I was induced with him because I had cholestasis. And that's like a liver thing, like a bile acid level build up in my uterus. Anyway, he came out so quickly because I was getting induced. They pumped up the juice. He flew out of me in 90 minutes. No
wow.
drugs. I felt amazing. I was
really?
like, wow, like I'm Xena Warrior Princess. Like I'm a birthing goddess. Like that euphoric hit, I got it.
Oh, wow.
So then when they were like, yep, we can induce you with Kobe, I was like, sweet, I'm going to fling him out again. I'm going to birth him like a warrior princess in a river or something. But it was the worst mistake I've made because not only was he the size of a 3-month-old when he came out, but I felt all of the pressure to bear down, and I was like, he's here, and I kept trying to push, and I was just pooing all over Ryan's feet. And
Are you standing up?
I was standing up. It was the only way I could.
Did you do completely drug-free?
I did completely drug-free.
psycho.
I'm a psychopath. Yeah,
That is psychotic.
it was in hindsight, but I was trying to get him out, but the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck like 3 times.
No.
And then it all went tits up, like it got bad. And then they were like, we've got to give you an episiotomy. And I was like, great, I'm getting split from here to China anyway. But then I don't know what happened because it went from like one person in the room to multiple people in the room. And then some nurse or doctor gave me some needles and gave me a little cut and then must have put there because the head was just there for so long. This is why I wet myself all the time because it was just expanding and stretching for so long and just hovering like crowding the burning ring of fire and I've got no drugs in me and I'm like, I just want to die at this point.
God.
And anyway, she hooked him under his chin and has pulled him out. But he actually wasn't breathing when he came out. So they've unhooked him and then they've given him oxygen. Anyway, PTSD from that. But how did we even get onto this topic?
I don't know, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Anyway,
You are a warrior.
The whole point of that story was...
You just want us to let everyone know you did drug-free births. Yeah, she's one of those
I'm a
ones.
hero, guys. I'm a hero. Take all the drugs. But when I remember the midwife measuring his head and she was like, 38 centimetres. Like that's the biggest head circumference I've measured in my time.
Oh, wow.
And that's
ruined you.
And that is the story of how my vagina's never been the same.
Oh, my God. Ouch.
Yeah.
So does that turn you off wanting more? Would you have another one? No. You're out of it. Okay, that was a silly question. You're out of it.
If I had another baby, it would just fall out.
Oh, my God. That vagina would be coming out after it. Do you find now, I mean, now we're speaking about vaginas, that obviously naturally leads us to sex.
Yep.
obviously.
Obviously.
Has your sex life changed now you've had kids, or did it change and it went back to
Yeah.
good?
So afterwards, I did not want sex, let alone to be touched. And I'll never forget. And I wrote a book about this, and I wrote this one line, which is, I think is kind of classy, and it really sums up the whole, really creates a nice visual for you. I'll remember the very first time I had sex after having Kobe, and Ryan and I were being intimate, and I said to him, it felt like you were feeding a Tic Tac to a whale.
Oh my
Right?
God, that is so
It's a great
true.
visual.
That is a great
So I felt like
visual.
a gaping cavern, like a hole, and I felt like all my insides had moved to the edge
Yes.
whilst I was growing this ginormous baby. That when Ryan's Tic Tac, which is not even a Tic Tac, it's a really great size, but when it went in the normal size into my cave, it was like a Tic
my-
Tac
it
and
got
a
lost.
whale, like bing.
Oh my God.
You know, your viewers are going to love this.
Oh my God, a Tic Tac into a whale. I'm really getting that. Oh, wow.
Did you not feel the same?
Well, I can't say we've had sex much, so yeah.
Have you had
But-
sex since having your third?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
never. I want to say like we've had it once in a month.
Yeah, but she's like 4 months.
5 months.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I mean,
don't you
I
reckon there's so much? I used to think like parents were the horniest. I actually think you are really horny. Like I feel like you're very. Now your kids are out, but do I have to wait to primary school to get that back?
no, honest to God, I shared this a lot on my socials because I
Yeah.
think it's so important to highlight that it's so normal to not want sex after having children.
Yeah.
Whether you've had 1 or 8, like you don't want, like especially after you've had this thing growing inside you
That's
and
so
coming out your
true.
vagina. And I've always gotten stitches after all of my kids. But guess what? Like you don't feel horny.
Yes, it's so true, and your hormones are constantly fluctuating. And
Especially
I
if
think
you're
that plays-
breastfeeding. I was drier than the
Yes.
Sahara Desert. Like I'd be squirting
So
tubs
true.
of lube down there.
Yeah, it's not, and I feel like it's such a thing. Like, oh my God, like a sexy night, date night, like how to spice it up. I'm like, no, that's the last thing I want.
nah.
Don't touch me. I don't want to get in lingerie. I want the lights off. And then
Off.
Ben wants the lights on because
Oh,
he's
nah.
a visual learner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're turning this shit off. And
That's
like,
right.
then there's white noise playing for the kids. I'm like, I just want some of the Weekend playing. Like, I just can't.
I love the Weekend.
I just can't
Yeah.
vibe.
Nah, and it's so normal.
That's
It's
good to know.
so normal. It took me 2 years after Kobe was born to actually want to have sex. Like a lot of the time after Kobe was born, I would be intimate with Ryan and we would have sex, but I would be doing it for him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love you, even though a lot of the time I hated him. But like, I was like, my mama was always like, you can't forget about the husband. Like,
Yeah.
don't just piss him off to the side.
That's what my mum says.
And so I did used to piss him off to the side a lot of the time. So every now and again, I'd be like, oh, I should put in some effort towards my marriage. And so we'd like sit down and have we'd put a movie on and we'd open a bottle of wine
Yeah.
and have some cheese. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, let's just get this over and done with.
Yeah,
And
that's what it feels like.
once it started, it was always good and it is nice. It helps you kind of reconnect. But it was only after a good 2 years that I was like, I started initiating it again.
Yeah. So it takes a long time to get your libido back.
Absolutely. I speak a lot about how my libido just
Went out
took
the top.
off to Mexico.
Yeah.
I was just holidaying over there for like 4 years.
on a gap year. Yeah, same. Mine's
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I used to love it. And then
Yeah.
after kids, then Ben used to say it would freak him out when I was pregnant and
Yes.
he didn't want to. I'm like, okay, babe, stop trying to flatter yourself.
Yeah.
All right, there's just a baby in there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You're not going to poke it in the
No.
head. Yeah.
And that's what he used to think. I'm like, that's just no, I think all men think that though.
But did you actually, when you met Ben, did you fall pregnant pretty quickly?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, because you're the same as Ryan and I. Because I remember I met Ryan and we had like 6 months together and we were like banging like rabbits and we went to like Mexico and we were doing nudie swims at night and like it was.
Banging in the ocean.
Yes, we would. But then I fell pregnant.
Oh yeah, you're
After
real
6
fertile.
months.
Oh wow.
How long was it with
Mine
you
was
and Ben?
a year.
Oh,
Mine
okay.
was, but I was a little bit psychotic and I was doing ovulation tests. I wanted, like,
Did you fall pregnant before you were married?
Yeah, I was six.
You
I
were
was
pregnant at
16
your marriage.
weeks.
At your marriage.
Yeah, 15 weeks. And I was so lucky that it was in COVID. I could not think. So we spoke about having a wedding not in COVID
Yeah.
and we went to a venue and we spoke about 250 people. And when I went through the list, it was like 230 of them were Ben's friends, work colleagues. And
You haven't even started writing your list?
Right? And I'm like, I am not walking down the aisle and small talking at my own wedding.
Oh,
like
nah.
to all these people I don't know and
Yeah.
the wives and the partners I've never met.
Yeah.
Like that's the last thing I want. And then like my table of 12 people are over there, like sick. So then we just had a really intimate wedding in COVID
Perfect.
lockdown and it was so good.
I remember seeing little
It was
photos
super
of it.
intimate and
So
I really
nice.
loved it because I feel my life is so public. So having something really small and intimate, and I feel like a lot of the days today, people have weddings and huge, extravagant, and I'm sure some of them would want that, but a lot do it for maybe the wrong reasons, like social media, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
So for me, this was just what I wanted. Family,
Yes.
tie the knot.
Something for you guys.
Something for me. And then
And
we
it's-
drove around in like a ute with dangling cans. dangle.
That's so nice. I can't believe you're pregnant at your wedding though.
I
You
know.
obviously weren't sick. Oh, you had Navy first.
I had Navy first and I was 16 weeks, so I was second trimester. And I just like had a little.
didn't even show.
I didn't really show.
When I was pregnant with my first, obviously Charlie, I don't know what it was about girls, but I was so nauseous from the minute I found out I was pregnant. I don't know if it was a placebo effect, but I was like green light just to blow out. And I would be eating meat pies for breakfast, chicken schnitzel wraps for morning tea. I ate hot chips every single day. Like
No
with
way.
every single meal. Like I had a side serving of hot chips. I gained like 30 kilos. But when I was pregnant with Charlie, I announced my pregnancy because I had a full bump at 12 weeks.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Big girl.
She was a big girl.
Big
girl
girl.
gotta eat.
I
No,
see-
I was the same with Navy. I think it's the first pregnancy you don't know what to expect. And in my head, that's what you do when you're pregnant because you're pregnant. But I was eating like double lunches, sushi nigiri with all that mayo sauce on top. And then I'd stop by the Indian store and get like naan, cheesy naan and a
Yeah.
curry. And like I just done Pilates. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So I was doing it because I was pregnant.
That's right.
And I think that's a good excuse to do it.
That's right. And I was always told, like, you got to eat for you and the baby. So I would be eating for two people as well. Did you put on much weight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Oh, big girl.
And
I'm pretty good at hiding it though, because I'm tall.
because you're how tall are you?
I was gonna say 6'8", 5'8". So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 174. I think, unless I've grown or shrunken. I feel like you shrink with age.
Not at your age. No, you start shrinking from like 60 onwards.
Oh, okay.
Or I could have made that up, but in your old age, you start going down. You
Yeah.
start shrinking and your ears start growing.
Really?
Yeah, I remember my
How
pop
do you know
before he
that?
died. I feel like I learnt that in trivia somewhere. But I remember my pop before he died. He'd gotten shorter, and his ears, he'd literally become like a cocker spaniel.
No.
They were so big, and his lobes would hang down here, and I'd always flap them.
No way.
And blow raspberries on them.
Oh, that is so a little bit weird.
It was a little bit weird.
How
Yes,
old were you?
sorry.
15.
8. No, I was 22.
No,
22.
I had no idea.
There you
Wow.
go. There's a fun fact
That
for
is
you.
a little fun fact. But I put on so much weight. As so many people, do you know what I hate? I hate when you put time into health and fitness when you're a mum afterwards and you lose weight, and then people are like, well, why did you need to do that? You looked amazing before. I'm like, no, I had so much baby weight on me. It's not healthy to keep this baby weight on you.
But also, I feel like weight, I mean, it's a sensitive topic
know,
for a
it's so
lot of people, but like
taboo.
just because it's not in line with what you deem healthy and fine. Like I'm the same. Like I've always been like a size 8. And for me, after I've had my children, like I wanted to get back into my size and my size of clothing and stuff. Not because I wanted to be skinny or whatever, but that's my body weight and that's where I feel comfortable. And
Yeah.
like some people might be different. They might want to get back to a size 12 and like you do you. I think that a lot of people get their back up like, you don't need to lose that weight.
Yes.
You're perfect the way you are. It's not about
Yes.
that. It was about me wanting to feel good about myself again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get so many things in my inbox being like, how dare you share this information to vulnerable mums? Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's such a woke world we live in today that you can't even share
Want
that.
to get back into
Like-
your own health and fitness and feel good about yourself. Just
Right?
because that size looks different to somebody else's doesn't mean there's a right
I
or
know,
wrong.
it's so bizarre.
I know.
And I think mums especially need that time because we don't get any other time. And I think fitness, I mean, I remember you talking about Pilates really changed your life.
I was literally going to say, me becoming a little hornbag again, I credit to Pilates.
Really?
Yes, and that is, but I don't know if it was because it was Pilates or if it was because for the first time ever, I started doing something for myself.
Yeah.
And so when I put Kobe into preschool, he was only going 2 days, but I would use those 2 days and I would start going to Pilates. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm just lying on my back for 40 minutes doing something low impact, let's be honest. But also it's just something for me. Like I'm not doing it's not for anybody else but me. And then I started loving it so much that I would get up early at like 5:30 before Ryan would even go to work and do more classes. And then with the exercise came the endorphins, and then with the endorphins came the libido.
And you came horny
Next minute,
rabbit.
self-pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You do love a big vibrator.
I do.
You love a big dildo.
I don't love a big dildo. I like really discreet looking ones. Jesus. No, but I've always, again, I'm a big believer that it's important to get down with your bad self and get to know yourself and what you like and what feels good, because then you can teach your partner.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I remember when
true.
I first met Ryan, like he was doing some wacky stuff down there and I was like, time out, let's bring it up. And we had a conversation about what I like, because I was like, I know my body best.
Yeah.
And I know what I like. So let's just apply this knowledge that I've passed on. He's a god now.
That's amazing.
Right?
Especially after kids. I think after kids it's really hard because I'm so scared. I get Brazilian waxes and like anyone going near my vagina now, I'm like, I tense up. Even like when she tells me to roll over to like wax my bum hole, I'm like, no, please don't. There might be hemorrhoids. Please don't touch. I just don't go too close, please.
Can I just say, this is so weird, but I get Brazilian waxes as well because I'm very fair down there and I can't get laser. But I remember the very first time I got a Brazilian wax, I was like 18 and I remember her saying like, oh, I'll do your bum hole. And I remember thinking to myself, my bum hole is not hairy, but whatever, this must be part of the Brazilian wax. Now I have a hairy ass. Like if I don't get Brazilian waxes, there's like a forest.
Yes. But in your bum hole, in the crack.
In the little hole is like a coat, it's like a beard.
Oh, I don't have it in the hole.
No, not in the hole, but around it. Like there's a bearded.
Front in the hole. What is it called in the hole?
But is that not like, did they create that for me?
No, I think you've always had a hairy ass. No, I think we've always had a hairy ass, but maybe with age and hormones, it gets hairier.
But let me ask you this again.
Yeah.
Do you shave your face?
No, because I think that creates a hairier.
And I think that's what happened, right?
Oh,
Because if you look at me in the light.
Do you shave it?
No, I don't.
You have a beard.
In the light, I'm Santa Claus. I've got like a very, very thin baby fur everywhere. Like I'm like a newborn chimpanzee.
Oh, cute.
But everybody was like, shave your face.
Yeah.
And I said, no way, because I've got, again, trauma from having my
hairy bum hole
waxed and now having a beard down there.
Yeah, I get it. Yes, I do get it. But now I have PTSD from like hemorrhoids and things like that. I don't want her putting. Hemis are popping. They pop.
I never got a hemorrhoid.
Really?
Nah.
Oh, lucky. They're constantly popping out. And this hair, now I have a little bit more PTSD because she's put, when I was in Thailand a couple of months ago, I had to find somewhere to go get a wax and she couldn't speak English and the wax was too hot.
Did she put one on the hemorrhoid?
She put it on my vagina and I said, it's too hot and she's blowing on my vagina. And I'm laying there and she's... And I'm like, babe, please, no. And then she's using her hands to like flap it out.
Yeah.
So now I would rather settle for a hairy vagina.
Yeah. Well, I remember when after I had children, there was no way I was letting anyone wax me down there. So I used to use Ryan's beard trimmer.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just trim it.
Oh.
Right?
You didn't cut yourself?
No, I wouldn't do it on like 0. I'd have it on like number 2.
Did you do your bikini line?
I did everything down there. I even did my butthole. Sorry, Ryan. But otherwise, I would look like Dumbledore.
Oh my God.
From Harry Potter.
Why do you not get laser? Because a lot of people ask me why I don't get laser. I'm like, I've always
too fair.
Oh.
Are you dark down there?
Yeah, I'm dark.
Why do you not get laser?
Because since I was 15, I was getting waxes and that was just like my thing. And then I pretty much fell pregnant at 18. Not really, but like 22. So then you couldn't get laser pregnancy breastfeeding. So I've had like almost 5 years.
Are you kidding? I have been to multiple laser places being like, please God, just please invent a light-haired laser.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's worth getting.
It's worth getting because once you go for like 6 sessions and then that's it. You're done.
Yeah, but then I like to think to myself like, what is it really doing to the little cells underneath your skin?
Hopefully killing them. Hopefully killing them so that they never grow back. I can't get it. I have to potentially wait till menopause.
I would get it now I've had kids. If I hadn't had kids, I wouldn't get laser just because a laser near your ovaries, eggs, don't want to freak you all out.
That's true. This is true. No. That's a good point.
No, I'll happily put silicone in my body soon. So, I've just got a copper IUD, so I'll happily put metal in my body.
Have you got an IUD in?
Yeah, and my period is so heavy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did they
that's-
put the IUD in the fanny?
Yeah. I
Because
think so.
wait, is that where it goes or is it the one in the arm?
No, it's in the fanny. Up high. Pretty much in the stomach.
Oh, okay.
Inserted manually.
No side
pain?
effects? Are you not meant to have your period?
No, your side effects are a really heavy period and really long. So I've pretty much been spotting every day since I got it, and I got it like a month ago.
But my girlfriend's got that and she doesn't have her period at all. Aren't you not meant to have your period?
No. I think
Why
she
would you
should
have
get
it
that
then?
checked. Copper metal kills sperm.
Oh.
So it can't. So that
Because you don't know if you're done having children.
yes,
Yeah, I get ya.
So my obstetrician said, should Ben get the snip? And he said, no, I wouldn't recommend because you're young. You might turn around in 10 years when you're 36 and want 3 more.
Oh my gosh. Does Ben want more?
No.
Because you know
No,
what?
he'd have one more.
I feel like no, but the thing
You
is,
need
because
2.
you've got all 3 here, you say you have like a 5-year gap, which you might, maybe not, but then when you do have another one, you'll want to give it a sibling or like a friend close by.
I agree. Hopefully I get twins.
Have you got twins in the family?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I know,
okay.
but like I wish it could happen naturally.
That's exactly what happened with my mum's brother. He had 2 and then he was done and then they had like a 9-year gap and then they had another baby and they were like, oh, there's too big of a gap. So they've got 4 kids with a 9-year gap in between.
Oh, wow.
But the 2 oldest ones just raised the little ones.
Oh, see, that's quite good.
Listen, when I had my 3rd and Kobe's ginormous body left my body, Ryan was like, we're done. And I was like, oh, we're done. And so he went and got the snip when Kobe was 10 days old.
No way.
10 days.
Oh, wow. But apparently that's not actually 99% effective.
Well, it is because that was 4.5 years ago and we have not fallen pregnant.
Touch wood. Touch.
Where is all the wood in the room? Here we go.
Well, we have a few questions.
Oh, you do have questions. Look at you.
No, I don't, babe.
Oh, okay.
People have called in to ask you a question.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
I have a 14-month-old who never sleeps through. He is a little firecracker, but I love him. But how do you find time for you and to get your spark back? Because I pretty much go to bed not long after he goes to bed so that I actually get some sleep. So how do you find time for you? How do you help get your spark back? Because I feel like I really need that at the moment.
Go on. I feel like you're good. You have your spark back.
Am I answering this?
You're a firecracker.
So she's a firecracker with a 14-month-old who doesn't sleep through and she's exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a spark back as in like a spark for sex or just herself?
Well, you would always go to sex, you horny rabbit.
I would say, to be honest, try when the baby is sleeping during the day, try and do something for yourself. I don't know what the home life is like with another partner, but like book a dinner with a girlfriend. Like I find that sometimes removing yourself from the family home and just having a little bit of breathing space away from mum life, away from married life and just basically compartmentalizing that and spending some time with your girlfriends is so refreshing and it helps fill your cup. And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go out and get sloshed and find a dance floor, although highly recommended.
Oh, you love that.
I do love that. I'm talking like just go out for a nice dinner
Yeah.
or go and see a movie or go shopping and have a nice lunch and just find time for yourself during the day or on the weekend. And even if it's an hour or 2 or something like that, because I feel like the minute you can step outside of that role and the family home and have a little bit of time to yourself, it kind of helps recharge the batteries.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
I think that really helps. I mean, you can definitely tell when like a mum or a dad hasn't had any time to themselves.
Oh.
They're snappy, they're grumpy, they're touched out, they're
That's
just
right.
in the worst mood. So I do think having time for yourself. I also think just feeling yourself, go to a lingerie shop and
Yeah.
just buy a sexy piece of lingerie, whether
Yeah.
that be like fishnet stockings,
Oh, Jesus.
whips and chains.
What are you and Ben into? Whips and chains. Jeez.
I'm kidding. That's so
A gimp mask?
honey Bernette of me.
That is honey Bernette of you.
No, just like a pretty. I remember my mum used to buy me lingerie of like a little like a leotard. She calls them something like they start with
Like a
B.
bodysuit.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
but like a lacy, really sexy one. I'm like,
At
Mum,
what
where would I
age?
ever? I think it was like
8?
last year. You know, I think it was the other year that I fell pregnant. I never fit into it, so I'm still getting back to it.
I also think that maybe if you're not at sexy lingerie stage, maybe a nice outfit, like a nice dress. Like I hated my body for like a good 2 years after having my third, and so like finding like a nice dress or something could also be helpful.
Yeah.
I still don't wear sexy lingerie.
No, I don't wear sexy lingerie either. It's just in my room getting mold and doing.
Or book yourself in and go and get like your hair coloured.
Yeah.
Get a blow dry or something and then take yourself out. I feel like people being like, oh, do an exercise thing or do like a dance thing at home or like sometimes
it's too much effort.
And also leave the home.
Yeah.
Leave the home and remember who you were before you became a mum and tap into that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
a great advice, Amy.
Thank you.
Well done. Well, thank you so much for coming on Sleep Deprived. I think we have spoken our time. We have yappity yapped.
We have gone on very many tangents. Like that was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster, and thank you for your input and your expertise on 3 kids.
Anytime.
I'm going to really follow your footsteps. Next, you might see me at the radio station.
Come on. You want to come on as a guest? You could do it.
I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, do it.
Nah, radio
I'll get you on.
scares me. It's too
It is.
live.
It's a little bit scary.
This is
I've got a bit
edited.
like. Also, I'm like not allowed to swear. I'm not allowed to talk about sex, and I was like, that's my entire personality.
Well, that's why I wanted you on here.
I know.
You're a little
Open
horny
book.
rabbit, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope
Thanks
did
for
you
having
bring
me.
your vibrator in your bag?
I'm actually wearing it right now.
You're fucked.
I'm not. Saving it for tonight.
Bye.
Bye.